So another session. It's supposed to be a good tide, but the wind is working against it, so that's going to kill the fishing completely. I'm not on the beach that I was fishing before. I'm on a beach further north. So yeah, I've got one rod in the water. I'm going to cast this out and then I'll walk you through the rigs and the bait. Yeah, it's a bit windy, like I was saying. It kind of messes with the casting a bit. Unless it drops, the distance is going to be down, and the only thing I'm going to catch is flounder. We'll see how we get on. Maybe the wind drops towards sunset or something. So, let's see if it's first cast fish here. So, the gear, yes, it's the Sonics. Boom. Yes, the reels are 5.5 pen extra make, and the other one's just a normal one. Let's see, is a first cast flounder. Damn straight it is. There's a sandbar that runs all the way along this beach at about between 80 to 100 meters, depending on the tidal movement that week or so. So I have to be over that generally to get a decent amount of fish. Not always, mostly. Everything inside that is flounder and dabs. And I got a bite. No, I don't, it's waves. Shut up. So I just got a bite on the right hand rod. Quite a good bite too, but I can't really tell what it was because of the wind and the stupid weed. But there's so much weed, it's really hard to distinguish. But I did see a decent bite. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's something on there, so we'll let him do whatever he's doing. If it's a flounder, he's on it 100% already. They're voracious animals. They'll wolf that down them. And they get really big, the flounder around here. The best one I have here is 58, believe it or not. 58 centimeters for a flounder. The Danish halibut, that's what I call it. But I was after place, and I've never had one on this beach really, so. The story is, the two rigs have come entangled. And I'm not sure if there's a fish involved in it or not, but it's never good with braid when you have this type of thing happening. It takes a long time to sort it out, or even with mono actually. So, but I'm going to try and get this fixed somehow. So I'm going to bring in this rod and hopefully not the other one with it. But I've walked away from the other rod so I can keep some tension in that line at least, so it doesn't make a complete mess out of both of them. We'll see how we get on anyway. There's definitely some weight on it anyway. Yeah, it's another rig, Billy. Oh, we have got fish. It's a big fat flounder. Yeah, we got all craziness going on here. I'll have to turn off the camera, see about the fish afterwards. So everything's in a mess. Here's the first flounder anyway. There's the circle where it should be. So you get this boy back. First flounder anyway. Goodbye, flounder. It picked up the other rig, and like I suspected, the whole thing's in a mess. So I'm trying to figure out some way. I'm going to disconnect the rig and pull the leader through to try and save myself a bit of bother here, because I'm about to lose a lot of fishing line and stuff. So I got to sort it out with the minimal amount of trouble. So I'm going to bring this one in and I'm going to start this again. So first tangled fish, I don't know. Let's see what we got on here. Two flounder. Look at the mess. I hate bloody weed. Well, there's no fish on it anyway. I'm gonna get that rig there, and I'm gonna get this weed off the end of this. So, since I got both rigs up, I might as well go through them anyway. The rig on the left rod is Pulley X. It's the blending of a pulley rig and a Wessex clip down. I never heard of a Wessex clip down until I started doing it, but it seems like an obvious move. I'm sure a lot of people do it. The top bit's a pulley rig, and they both come down and clip onto that angel clip there. Prior to the angel clip, I use BB clips and stuff like that. Yes. And on the other one is the Pulley D, which is a pulley rig and a one down. There we go. There it is there, being all his one downness. Yeah. So the baits are, as I said before, my frozen blow lug, and I will link that video and the build for the rigs as well in the description. So we're going to get some worms onto the hairs, and I'll walk you through how that works as well. Okay. Yes. So these worms, actually, that one there, since you're not looking, look what I'm showing you, right? This was actually a blown worm, which I processed anyway. They catch fish nonetheless. What's more, you can get them onto the needle as well once you treat them the way I showed you in the video, and they catch fish just the same. So even blown, I know to catch fish. I've used it for years. So if you're worried about your precious bait and it's blown, don't worry about it. Just do that to it anyway. You still catch fish with it. And so this is a size 1. It's quite a big one. Circle hook, a very strong pattern. I like to use this one. And this is 100-pound braid. I have a video on this as well. I will link that in the description as well. And this is the clip for the end of the hair. Now in South Africa they use great big ones of these for sharks and stuff like that. Not like this. I made that for worms. Right? I wanted to use the South African thing to stop deep hooking the flatfish, and it took me a while to think of it, and this is what I came up with, and it works extremely well. And the reason why this works so well is because the bait is the first thing into the mouth of the fish and the hook is the first thing out most of the time. And also it's soft and it makes the bait shorter, and it's much easier to get into his mouth than a big long worm hook, which is completely unnecessary, and it takes ages for the poor devils to get it into their mouths, and your hookup rate isn't as great and you mess up a lot of fish. So that's why I fish this way. You can use fresh worms if you want, makes no difference at all. Ragworm, whatever. You might want to make the hairs a little bit longer, that's all, depending on the size of your worms obviously. Let me just get the next one. That's as simple it is, but I have left out one step of the process which I'll show you now. So the last step is to take the head of the worm and put it onto the hook. That's it. Stop it sliding down the hair, that's all. That's all you have to do. Nice and short. The bait will roll down onto the clip once it goes into the water. The fish will never know anything about it. Sometimes they swallow it down, but then you just cut the hair off and go straight out the other side. It's got no barbs or a point on it. It's not dangerous to the fish in any way. So there we go. And so this is how the rig works. Just goes up to a relay clip up here, then back down to the angel clip on the lead waves. That's that. And then the top one comes down beside it. There we go. So I'm going to take this opportunity to turn the tripod downwind, point it downwind. When you're fishing in the wind, point your rods downwind from it, because what happens is when you cast out, and I should have done it straight away, but I didn't think there was that much weed in the water, but I should have known better. What happened was all the weed built up on the line dropped the other rig into the other, and if I hadn't have been paying attention, the whole lot would have come crashing down. Okay, that's it. So how you combat this is you take the rods and the tripod and you point it downwind, and then what happens is, if one rig, it won't stop the rigs from getting swept into the other, but it will stop the rods from crashing down over to one side. It will just, the rigs will just wash up at the beach. You'll be still in a mess, but only half as much. So yeah, we'll do that right now before something stupid happens. That's it. This is all you do. Take your tripod, just turn it. That's it. That's all you've got to do. Now half your troubles are over. Also, if the wind is really strong, it will stop the tripod blowing over as well. Out we go, second rod. That's the pulley D, just in case you're wondering. Yeah, it's just gonna do what I call a South African cast. It's because it's the same style as they use in South Africa today, not the South African off the ground cast. It's like an aerialized version of that. That's exactly what it is. So despite the wind, I'm still getting a good bit of distance, but not enough. We're looking somewhere around 150, so I get about maybe 100. So it's either just behind the sandbank I mentioned earlier or just in front of it. Either way, it's not much good to me. So it's a flounder session, it is, unfortunately for Billy. Another thing you should do when you're fishing in the wind with bait clips is they're not going to unclip, because the wind keeps tension on the fishing line all the way to the bottom, because it's blowing on it and it pulls it downstream, so the clips don't get a chance to unclip. So what you need to do is this: you tighten up in the line till you can feel the rig or some tension in it, and just jiggle it up and down a little bit just to knock the bait clips out. That's it. And I'll do this 3 times. That's it. And then I'm going to put it up in the pod, see how we get on. Anyway, so we're just going to tighten up in these rods. I'm not a guy for trying to keep the rods up high out of the water and try to keep them out of the weed. It's not possible, okay? So if it gets so bad like that, I just go home. Simple as that. You never try. Your gear's going to get broken. You're going to be miserable. It's a waste of bait, a waste of time, a waste of money. That's it. Both rigs are resting on gravel because they can't get out past where they should be. There's still loads of weed in the water. Haven't had a bite. The wind has dropped though, which is kind of nice. Yeah, this is what we got. So the wind has died down a lot, so I'm gonna see if I can get out over the sandbar, see if I can get myself fishing. So I'm gonna take this bait in. It was resting on gravel as I previously said, so there's no fish on it. So we get it in, we get it out again. So this is the annoyance of life. Whatevers. So we get it rebaited and re-outed. That's a technical term. So I'm going to take the brakes off a bit. I'm going to do a pendulum cast and I'm going to send it out to sea. Yes. Now that went where it was supposed to. Nice. I have changed the rods back again because the wind has gone away. Oh, we're getting a bite on the other one though. Tightened up on it. I think it's a bite anyway. We're going to take a look at the lefty. See if there's a fish on it. Actually, there might be a fish on it. Yeah, we got a fish as well. Not a flounder. Yep. I knew this. They're not particularly good ones either. Anyway. So I'll get you a look at them. Here's the fishy. Circle hook as usual. Yep. That's a legal flounder. But I'm not going to take it. Let's put them back. So that's 2 flounderies. Goodbye. Gone. So 2 flounder, as expected, as I said from the beginning. Yeah, we'll get the weed off the end of it. We get the rod in the water again. Okay. So anyway, next bait out. Can't do anything about the sun. Shut up. Yes, I'm gonna put this one out as far as I can as well. So that went pretty far. Wasn't a great cast, but it went pretty far. So it's past the sandbar I mentioned previously again. Okay, right, that's where it is. It's out there. So I hope I will get something different. The tide has started pushing. Will it clear the weed? I don't know. I hope so. Stay tuned. Fish heads. Next bait. Get a fish now, yes we will. No we won't. So let's see if there's anything on the fifth rod. And there's nothing on this anyway. As usual, Billy is wrong. There is a flounder on it, of course there is. Oh, it's a place. Oh, my word, I did not think that was going to happen. I picked up a place. Okay, it was out quite far though. You're not looking. A place, nice. Better be a place anyway. Yes, it is. Nice. There's me. Just giving out about the way things are. It's not very big, but it's actually, believe it or not, it is legal, unfortunately. But I'm not going to keep it, obviously. If we get the hook out of his face. There we go. Just put him in the bucket for a minute. He's been out there for a while. Anyway, so there's the little place there. I give him about 25 maybe. Anyway, so that's him there. We get him back in the drink. Hey, he's dug himself into the sand. Don't do that. For a place, you're quite stupid. There you go. Goodbye, Mr. Place. Nice. A place, yes. Only a small one. It's better than nothing. So let's get it back out again. So we can get to another place. Let's see what happens. That went a long way. Let's see if we got in that one. That's a bit of good luck. The weed is gone, right? And the place have turned up. So we might get a decent night out of it after all. So I'm getting a bite on the right rod. It's quite subtle. So that bait's out about 130 meters or so. Well, we'll give it time and we'll see what's on there. It could be a flounder as well. They don't give great bites at that distance. So indeed, there is a fish on it. Shut up, there's a fish on it, right? So I'm just going to take it in and then you will see the fish and then you'll be happy, okay? Yeah, there's a fish on, all right. Hopefully it's a nice big place. Yeah, it's a nice one. Oh, it's up on the top, yeah, it's a nice fish. What's with these places today? They like their surfing, they do. That's a flounder, god damn it. Oh, we got double shot, yes. Nice job. Decent flounder anyway, and a little guy. I suppose it's not that bad fishing. Anyway, we get these boys back. I might keep that one. There they are there. So I've decided not to keep either one of them. I'm going to put them both back. So that's that lad there. I would say he's about 27 or something. And this boy here is just minuscule. I'm going to put both of them back. Let them swim away to get bigger and feed me another day. Goodbye, flounders. Yee. That's that wasn't too bad. What was that? 4 flounders, 1 place. So I'm going to lash this one out as well. This is probably going to be the last cast. Boom. So the session has come to an end and we got fish on the right rod. Por favore. There is, okay. And I'm going to take in the right rod. Oh, sorry, got fish on the right rod. I'm going to take in the left rod. Okay, right. We've got that straightened out. There's the beautiful sunset. Oh yeah. Right. And that'll be that. We call it a night. So we let those boys do whatever those boys are doing, and we take in this one and see if we can get a fish on this one. This one was out the furthest, and I don't think there's a fish on it at all. It hasn't been touched. No, there's nothing on it. Empty hooks. So we give it a minute and we take that one in and we see if there's a fishy on it or not. It hasn't been too bad considering how it started. It hasn't been too bad at all. So I've never really got a chance to explain about the tides here in Denmark. They are minuscule. For instance, tonight, the difference between high water and low water, I believe, is 8 centimeters. Believe it or not. So in Denmark, it can be actually quite hard to get your hands on bait a lot of the time. You can never get worms on the west coast ever. You have to go into the fjords and stuff like that if you're after bait in the northern part anyway. You can get it down further down south in the west. You can get bait there. There's black lug and other stuff like that out in the islands down south. But up here, it's all in the fjords, and it's only on certain tides you can get it. And also it works kind of backwards here. Spring tides is lower water. The sea stays lower and moves less, and yeah, but that's when you can pump though, or date, but it doesn't move very much. The fluctuation is very small, and the neap tides is highest, and the middle tides is in between those two, just like everywhere else. It's kind of like backwards tide world. Yeah, as where I come from, the high tide is two extremes. It's extremely low or extremely high, and that's the way it is for most people. but here in Denmark it's completely opposite. So it's come time to take in the last rod and see what's on it. There's a flounder on it, pretty sure. Either that or a crab. So we go down and see what the sea has for me. Shut up, I like rhyming. I don't do it on purpose. It's true. Oh, there's nothing on there. Whatever it was got away. So that's it. Last rod. No fishes. Boo. So that's it for me. 4 flounder in a place. Not too bad considering how things started. Wherever you are in the world, fish on. I'll see you on the beach. Bye.